Alright, I feel better. I hope you do too. I just had to get that out. Welcome back. This is 5 Jake E. Lee era Ozzy riffs. So we're taking a look at 3 riffs from Bark at the Moon. 2 riffs from The Ultimate Sin will be in 2 different tunings, E standard and E flat, and I'll let you know about the different tunings when we get to the riffs. If we haven't met before, please check in the description box. I've got a free sweet picking guide called Sweet Picking Boot Camp. I would love for you to check it out. It's my free gift to you. And also, if you haven't subscribed, I would certainly appreciate it if you did. Okay, let's get cracking. What I'm going to do is run through these fairly quickly because we'd be here all day with all the little details. So what I'll do is not spend so much time on frets and numbers and a little bit more on just playing these slow and pointing out anything that I think's maybe a little bit hard to decipher. So let's get started with the grand master riff of Jake's Ozzy career, which is of course Bark at the Moon. This one's been broken down by Jake himself online and many others. So there's no more mystery to this probably, but let me go ahead and do it anyway because I have to include it in Jake Ozzy era riffs, right? So we start out with the pickup bar with a G5 chord and coming into an A5. All right, so okay, let's do that much of it. So from the G5 at the 5th fret on the D and G strings into an A with the open A string going. So right here we're going to change to an A minor 7. So instead of just playing 7 and 9 on the D and G, we're going to add this 8th fret, the 8th fret on the B string. Okay, so that would sound like this. Notice that A string keeps pumping and we're alternate picking this whole thing. And that's just 3rd fret A string pull off to the open. G5 again. Okay, and this used to be a mystery exactly how Jake just played this, but he's obviously shown us how to do it now, and so I will break it down for you here. It's 10th fret on the D and G, open A twice. So there's open A's in between each of these, so I don't need to call that out every time you can hear those open A's coming in. Let me just show you this chord movement here. It's 10 and 10 on the D and G, 9 and 10 D and G, all the way to 5. Keep 10 on the G though. Back to 9 and 10, and then resolve it to the A. So you have this. Okay, a little bit tricky if you haven't tried these big stretches before. Jake has some pretty unorthodox stuff. The second time we do this riff, we're going to have a little bit different ending. So a little bit different. So now we're going to play 10 and 10 on the D and G again, 9 and 10. So it starts out the same. Then we go up to 12th fret D, 10 and 10 on the G and B. And then back to the 10, 10, and 10 on the D G and B, and then resolve that to an A. All right. So those are the two main things, and the second ending, the first ending here, I didn't show you this, is the second ending is climbing up. So okay, and that's just 1 on the first fret on the A string, open A, and then 1 again, and then 3, 1 open on the A to the open, and then 3, 1 on the low E. Also notice that we play from the 5th fret to the open A on the second pass through instead of going play D. Doesn't matter too much really, but it does kind of give it a nice little variety, and it's more fun to play because you're doing different stuff. Okay, so the second time we come to this, same thing there, and then we play open E, F, and then F sharp. That's leading into the bridge. Okay, so why don't I do this? Let me play the whole riff for you at a slow tempo, and you can kind of see how all this fits together. Here we go. Okay, and that's Bark at the Moon. From Bark at the Moon is called Center of Eternity. Now after a long intro, the guitar kicks in and it sounds like this. Okay, so we're going to start with 3 open A strings, and the chords are on the, or there's playing a C chord, but these are on the D and G string. Now we're playing a D, 7th fret D and G, and that A string is coming in between, so notice the rhythm. Cool little slide here from 7 to 8, D and G. And then you're going to play 7 again on the D and G. Back to 5. Okay, so. And we start over. This time we're not going to have that same rhythm. We're going to play through it with 16th notes. And then we're going to have a little fill at the end, so that's just 5, 6, 7 A, 5, 6, 7 D, 5, 6, 7 G. So let me play that whole section for you. Okay, then we play the exact same thing starting over. This time we're going to do a different fill at the end. It's exactly the same up to that point, but the fill is pull-offs. 7th fret on the G string, pull off to 5, pull off to open. Same thing on the D string, same thing on the A string. And that goes into from A to a G, and we're going to do that twice. Then we're going to go from G to F. Up to G. So that's, we're getting into the chorus riff now. I'll show you that real quick. So actually you're getting another riff on top of this, right? We could keep going. There's so many riffs within each song. Bark at the Moon has at least 3 really cool riffs, but I'm only looking at one there just for the sake of time here. But the chorus on this, E. And then we're going to go from, A. Then we're going to go from E to G. You can do that like this too. And then we're going to go to an F sharp note, 4th fret D string. So that's kind of the little melody there. It's a little bit hard to hear what exactly the guitar is doing because there's a lot of effects on it. So I'm just kind of playing that melody. 4th fret on the D string twice, and then the D note at the 5th fret on the A string. Back to the 4th fret D, and then you're into the riff again. Super cool riff. Hope you enjoy that one. Alright, and yet another cool riff on the Bark at the Moon record is Now You See It, Now You Don't. And it goes like this. Okay, and then we're into the verse with Ozzy singing over the top. I'll show you that in a second, but the main riff starts like this. And that's a C5 power chord, B5 to an A, and then it's D, 5, C5, back to D. And now we're into the main riff. And all that is a D5 sliding up to the E. And then we're just hammering away on that E power chord at the 7th fret. But we're also playing the low E string. All right, and then the little single note line is 5th fret on the A string, 7th fret E, 5th fret, and then we're gonna hit a G5 chord here. And all that is 5th fret on the D string, 7th fret, G, 8th fret on the B string. I'm also adding this D note on the A string in there just to make it nice and fat. Okay, so this part is. We play it again. And that's the intro. Now we're into the verse. Very simple, similar to what we were doing in Simple. We're just kind of riding that low E string and then filling it in with the and then kind of that intro chord thing. The start of the song comes back into that as well, leading into the chorus. Okay, then on the chorus section, I'll just briefly run this down for you. So bonus riff here. It's just an A. It starts with the 3rd fret low E. And then we got this cool rhythm on the A chord here. And then we'll play a single note line. 3-2 open. That leads to a D, and then the second time you do it, you go to an F, and then you just alternate that. So it'd be like this. Then you're back to the top. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Shot in the Dark. We're tuned down a half step now for these next two riffs. So E flat standard tuning. Here's my low E. Now we're just just going to take a look at the main riff here. Okay, so here we go. All right, so key of B minor. I'm using my thumb here. I've seen Jake do this live. I think he's using his thumb as well for the B note on the 6th string. So, and we're playing 7 and 7 on the D and G. Back to the B note on the low E, and then 2 more Bs. You hear that? So, like that, and then we're gonna move down here and play. So that together slow would be. It's kind of a quick move, and that's 2 on the low E, 5 on the low E, and then 2 on the A string. Twice on that. Now we're going to play G5, 5th fret, 7th fret, D and G. Also grab the 7th fret with your ring finger right here. So definitely see Jake playing that live. So it's just the G5 and then twice on the B note. And then 5 and 6 on the D and G. Back to 2 and 2 G and D and G. Into 5 and 4 D and G. So that's a G chord. So this would be. Okay, so all of this together so far. Now the single note line, we're going to play a 5 on the D string, a 7A, 7E, and then 5, 7 on the A, and then 5 on the D. You're going to mute all the notes except for the last one. Try to get a harmonic, pick harmonic with that last one. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Start it over. Same thing here. And we just end it with this. And that's just 9th fret on the G string, bend that up, lower it, return, do it again. We're into the verse. Alright, so here's all of it together at a slow tempo. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Lightning Strikes. This is also tuned down a half step, and it goes like this. That's a little bit into the bridge there, but the basic riff, F sharp, kind of like Crazy Train a little bit, but we're just playing. So we're playing this, we're pedaling off the F sharp note. We're going 2, 4, 5, 4 on the A string. So and then we're playing open E, 2nd fret E, right to an A chord. Then on the way down, we're going to do this. So reverse the notes a little bit. We still start with the 2nd fret on the A string right there, but then we go up to 5, 4, 2, and then 2 open on the low E, and then in the E5 chord here, 2nd fret, 2nd fret D, 4th fret G, 5th fret B. So the whole thing would be. Now here we're going to add a little fill in. So all it does is go that far up to 5. So that much of it. And just a little F sharp minor pentatonic like. Play that slow for you. It's a little bit hard to hear exactly what Jake's playing there, but it's something close to that. So here's the whole intro. Second little, same exact as the first time, but there's a little fill that does this. A little triplet thing. It leads to a G chord. I'll show you that. It's mostly hammer-ons. 2, 3, 4 on the A, 2nd fret D, and then back to 3, 4 on the A, 2, 3, 4 on the D, 2 on the G, 3, 4 on the D. So, and then 2, 4, 2 on the G, and then 4 on the D. And that leads right to a G chord, and then you're into the pre-chorus, basically. So that would come like that fill would come in here. Okay, and that is Lightning Strikes. So there is 5 Jake era Ozzy riffs, and hope you enjoyed that. There's so many cool riffs. Some of these I hadn't actually learned before, so it was a lot of fun digging into these. Hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it as well. Just a reminder to grab the free Sweet Picking Guide on your way out, Sweet Picking Boot Camp. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Rock on.